Stephen. Steveny way. Stephen. 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 Stephen goes with me. Stephen. 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 Get ready, Stephen. This is gonna be intense. Get ready, Stephen. This is gonna be intense. This is fun, Stephen. Stephen, no! Stephen, 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 Stephen. Good job, Stephen. Stephen, 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 Stephen can handle this. Stephen, 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 Stephen. You're grounded, Stephen. Don't beat yourself up, Stephen. Stephen, Stephen, Stephen. We're doing this for Stephen. Stephen, Stephen. Don't worry, Stephen. Stephen, 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 Stephen. I think Stephen can do it. Stephen, Stephen. Stephen is not just a gem. There has never been anything or anyone like Stephen. Good morning to you, Stephen. 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 Let's do it Stephen's way. Stephen's way. Stephen. Stephen stays here. Stephen, 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 Stephen. At least Stephen is safe. Hey guys! Stephen! Stephen! Get out of here! Stephen, run! Stephen! Thank you. Oh, Stephen. We already love you. Stephen, 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 Stephen. Put your butts away, Stephen. Stephen, 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 Stephen's right. Stephen, 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 Stephen. There's one more thing I have to mention.
What is it?
I love you. Bye. Stephen! Stephen, Stephen! Happy birthday, Stephen! Stephen, Stephen, Stephen. Okay, I'm ready for this to end.